Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Hey passengers, it's Dan from the Grand Circle Tour podcast. I just want to let you know that this episode is being brought to you by Dream Creators Travel. Our good friends Jennifer G and Julista are two of the most knowledgeable people I know when it comes to booking trips to Walt Disney World. Follow them for more Disney tips and tricks on their Facebook group called Busy Moms Planning Disney. Our listeners will not only receive the best booking incentives available, but you will also qualify for a very special promotion. If you book a Disney or Universal package, including room and tickets for 3 nights or more, they're going to go ahead and give you a free $25 Disney gift card. Be sure to let them know your favorite tour guides at the Grand Circle Tour podcast sent you, so that you ensure you receive your free gift. Visit the Dream Creators Travel website today at dreamcreatorstravel.com and remember their slogan, if you can dream it, we can create it.
Okay, we are now recording. So
didn't
no
even
swearing.
see the light. I see it now.
I'm not trying to trick you because it's Sunday morning.
I know.
I want everyone to hear about Disneyland's opening, so we're going to get this out as quickly as possible. I do not want to have to do any work on this episode. I'm going to slap it together and
No
throw
pressure.
it out, throw it to the world. Good morning. Aloha, passengers. It's coffee talk time with your, what are we? What were your tour guides? Skipper Jay.
We're a mess this morning. Well, you're
You guys are a
showered and all
mess.
dressed. We're
I'm
a mess.
shower
I rolled
dressed.
out
I've
of
been
bed.
for a run, a dog walk. I've eaten
Oh
at
my
the
gosh.
store.
I was up at like 4:30 getting prepped and prepared. I was tossing and turning all night because today's the day that I got our dining reservations, and I had specific restaurants that I wanted, and there was going to be I don't want to say the word because I know that you're not going to edit, but I would have been one Mr. Frankie Pants that
Yeah.
if I didn't get what I wanted.
And he would.
Brought my buzzing device.
He's very particular with his Disney adventures.
No, you don't say.
Like more so than he is at home.
Really? George is a little OCD about Disney?
Yes,
Well,
I am.
I'm glad to hear that you got all the dining reservations that
Especially
you were wanting.
sci-fi, because
So
That one's really hard to
hey,
get.
I
George,
kept
we've
on
been
questioning.
chatting for about 20 minutes, but the audience doesn't know that. Let's introduce the girls.
yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just thinking as far as like, hey, this is what. Hi, everyone. So we have Ringmaster Holly in the house,
Woo woo.
and we have George's lovely wife, which I guess by proxy also makes her Bellhop, Jess.
I guess, but hi.
Hey, everybody. How you guys doing this Sunday morning?
I'm
trying to
I'm
wake up.
Disney hungover.
I'm so jealous.
I have to work this afternoon until very late tonight.
So you're telling us we can't go for 2 hours?
I am on
Right.
my way to filling a stormtrooper-sized mug full of coffee.
Sounds good.
Oh.
Mine's almost gone already.
So,
So Holly,
Siri, set a timer for 45 minutes.
I know. I'm like, what are you doing, Jay? Like awkward silence.
I had to turn my headphones off so I could talk to Siri.
Got it.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 45 minutes. Oh, thank you.
what can
Dead
I say?
air, nothing but dead air
Well,
makes a great
Okay,
radio show.
So
So how
Jay
was
wanted to
Disney
jump
again?
on. We haven't done a coffee talk in a couple weeks, but Jay wanted to jump on this Sunday because I just got home from Disneyland, the grand opening, and there's so much to go over. There's so many little tips and things that we wanted to get out to our passengers for anybody that's going soon. Really important stuff, I
And
think.
anybody like us who didn't get to go and we got to live vicariously through you and our bitter tears of regret.
I know.
But Holly,
So-
I have a
Yeah.
burning question I have to ask you.
They have a cream for that.
I have a burning question. I need to know what the is wrong with you. You skipped Monte Cristo's? You were there for 2 days. Food is fuel. You could not sit down and eat a Monte Cristo, the world's greatest sandwich. I'm so gonna tell Mindy on you.
I know.
Keep pressing that button because Jess will not try the Monte
I
Cristo.
will not put that stuff in my mouth.
And Jessica's leaving the show now.
Okay, so here's the reasoning. So opening day was just really undescribable. It was so emotional. It was so unique. I don't know. So I was busy. I had reservations for Cafe Orleans, which I have to admit, I've never eaten at before. So I was really excited. But my sister and I looked at each other and were like, we cannot be confined to a restaurant for an hour. We need to be free to roam this park. So we did. We canceled our reservations because I didn't want to sit for an hour. My feet paid the price. I'm like barely able to walk today, which is crazy because I do this all the time. I've gone to Disney World twice in the last few months, but I can barely walk. But we did not want to sit.
Hey, do you know why your feet are so sore today? Because you insulted the Disney food gods.
Right, I know. And when we walked over to cancel it, they were shocked because there was no reservations. They were gone in moments for all the days. Like I can't even get any reservations in June anymore. And so she's like, you want to cancel? Like you're not coming up to ask if there's any openings? Yeah, it was, no, we're weird. I know this.
I don't know who you are anymore. Because I could have been on Mickey's Fun Wheel. I'm sorry, the Pixar, whatever it's called. Okay, whatever it's called around. It's had too many name changes. I would have jumped off the top and like done a Rocky the Flying Squirrel move to get that reservation.
I know, and I was like, think somebody's going to be so excited. They're going to go in their app to just see, and whoa, there's an opening for two.
You can't see me shake my head in severe disapproval, passengers, but it's there.
Sorry, it'll happen. But that is one thing I said. So we were trying things that we haven't tried before because I have to admit, I took Disneyland for granted. I thought it was always going to be there. I thought I was going to have an annual pass and be able to go whenever I wanted. So being closed for over 400 days, my goal was to really eat things and visit areas that I don't normally do. So another thing, I've never had a mint julep ever. Like, how crazy is that? Jace, don't. I'm telling you, like, we just really didn't eat a lot. We had our same snacks that we got, and we were one of those that really didn't eat a lot in the parks. We ate specific things. So we took our time to do all these things that we didn't. And the mint julep, I didn't think I was going to like it because I don't really like mint. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I could drink those every single day.
Okay, it is amazing in the way that it kind of, I don't know, causes your whole sinus cavity to suck up in a weird sweetening saccharine. I don't know. It's disgusting and beautiful at the same time.
Like, it was just so nice sitting out there, having the beignets and relaxing and listening to the sounds and what, like, I don't know. It was just amazing.
So George and I, we're just going to ask you questions. Basically, for this one, the floor is yours, Holly. I know we want to hear, the listeners want to hear, because you were there for Disneyland history. You know, those souvenir books they sell every few years? This is going to be in those. The day Sleeping Beauty awoke. Tell us everything and don't leave out anything.
I just have to say that the night before, I had put in a request to Holly, and I said, you have to go live before you even enter through the turnstiles, in through under the tunnel, before arriving on Main Street, because
Yeah.
I wanted to see that Kodak moment, Hallmark card moment that she was building up for
Yeah.
over
I'm
a
probably
year.
going to get even emotional just even look at, I'm like just talking about it because, and those that aren't huge Disneyland fans, well, they're not even going to be listening right now anyways. But yeah, I knew I was going to be emotional, but I really didn't expect myself to like sob like that. Like I really didn't. So everything was so amazing. So we came in on the South Harbor side, which I have to recommend to passengers because Mickey and Friends parking structure, I saw videos. It was crazy, which to be expected, but it looked also fun because everyone's honking their horns in excitement, not anger. But we stayed at a hotel, so we were able to walk right over. The lines were very organized. The second they opened the gates, we were in within moments. Like I was so impressed with how everything just worked magically. So we went through the temperature screening. From the time that we started walking, it was like 4 minutes from the time we started walking in to get up to the gates. So the temperature check was really quick. Security was really quick. Everyone was so nice. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. So then we're in line waiting to go through the turnstile and the train pulls up. That's when it first started for me. The train pulls up, blows the whistle, everybody cheers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already starting. So it was just so incredible. And then walking through, and then they give you the paper ticket still. And everyone, like the cast members, it felt so genuine. Welcome back. We're so glad you're here. Welcome home. So once we went through and started going under the bridge, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to start recording. And my recording was terrible because I was trying to be in the moment and look around, but it's hard to do that when you're on your phone too. But I really wanted to record it.
You know what? I thought your video was great because I felt like I was there with you.
Yeah.
It wasn't super staged and fake. It was big in the moment with Holly, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, you can tell when
as I drank from my cup of bitter tears.
Yeah. And then when you're going through and you can hear my voice, I have another 3-minute video that I will send to you guys that I haven't even really gone back because I've been just in a whirlwind the last couple of days. But you can hear my voice continually get worse and weaker and more cracking and more sobbing because every cast member, dozens of them, lined Main Street saying, welcome back, welcome home, welcome, welcome. And so I'm, thank you. You're walking down, waving to people. And I'm like, thank you. Like towards the end, like it's crazy. And I was saying there's this one guy, and unfortunately you can hear him on the video, but he was on the corner right there by the magic shop. And he actually leaned over and said, welcome. We are so glad you're here. Like looking right at me. And he said, are you ready to see your castle? And that's when I'm turning to look right down and he said, there she is. And I think that really got me right there because it was so sincere.
Yeah, but how does he know the castle identifies as she? I mean, the castle can identify however it wants, and we're cool with that.
So
we are everybody positive here.
So I don't know, I left the rest of my party behind. I don't know where they went. I was just in my own little welcoming back party with just my emotions. And I must have walked right by Bob Iger. I didn't even see him. I was looking at.
Would you have hugged him? Would you have just walked up and hugged him?
No.
He starts sobbing into his $2,000 suit.
Right. But it was really cool because I saw pictures later of him recording on his personal cell phone as well. But I just was really looking at other Disneyland people walking in, the fans, and then the cast members. You could see their emotions as well, which is really touching. Like it really was.
And passengers, really quick, I want to give you a visual because Holly, it is 8:43 your time. You had to get up early to do this. You just spent 2 days at Disneyland. George, Jess, would you agree with me? She looks like a 10-year-old about 4 p.m. on Christmas morning,
Yes.
Christmas Day. At the excitement, there a need to crash and take a 2-hour nap before dinner.
Yeah,
She's
pretty
definitely
much.
acting like a child on Christmas.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
When I got home last night at like 10
You have
o'clock,
not stopped smiling this
I know.
whole time.
and that's how I was when I got home last night, because I went with my sister. I didn't go with my husband, and I'm just like, like I could not stop talking. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed now. I'm like, darn it! Like I just wanted to keep talking about it.
Honestly,
yeah,
Holly,
absolutely.
I think for me, as I said, I'll probably still have that moment at Disneyland because I can't wait to go back myself. But you have that special connection with it because you've been there how many times? I feel
She's
like
not the only one.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I'm gonna have my moment when we can get back on the cruises.
Yeah,
That because I feel that's the part that resonates with me. So I could definitely feel that moment. But as I said, I just had to see it for myself because it was one of those things where you especially with a long time coming, because I personally thought Disneyland was going to reopen before Walt Disney World. In all
definitely.
actuality, I thought Disneyland was not going to go this
I
long.
can probably go back to our group chats and say you guys are nuts. Like where I was like saying, there's no way it's going to be closed. There's no way.
I just want to say I was the most pessimistic, therefore I win.
You were, and I'm like, what is he talking about? There's no way.
I was right. Pessimism wins every time.
Yeah, it's crazy. When I was talking about making reservations for June of 2020, like dining
I just
reservations.
threw my head back and laughed.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's no way it's going to be closed. They said 2 weeks. And it's already been a month. It's already been 2 months. I'm like, there's no way. June? Are you crazy? I'll be back in June. Yeah, it's crazy.
If we're ever on the Titanic together, and I'm not waiting around. The second I feel a bump, I'm at the deck. Like, all right, let's go. Lifeboats.
So
Stick with
funny.
me, you'll survive.
So I
love the rolling and bumping of the boats when we're on a ship.
You know what? I'm like that woman who would stay up all night on Titanic because she knew something was going to go wrong.
Oh
And
my
when
gosh.
something went wrong, she slept all day and she was up all night, and she was right. She had her stuff up and out, and she was on a boat with her family. That's me.
So
I
funny.
think that's why I can't do cruises. All right, I'm sorry. Detour within a detour.
Right. So, I mean, I am so thankful I was there. There's nowhere else. I mean, I would have been devastated. As I was telling you, Jay, I empathize with those like you that couldn't be there, but you grew up in Disneyland. So it's sad. If I wasn't there, I don't even know what I would have been probably crying all day, angry, like so emotional.
I was completely honest with you guys because, okay, passengers, I'm only out here because my renters did me wrong and I have to fix this house, or else I'd still be home in San Diego and would have been there. And I had a moment of just 5 minutes of just straight bitterness. My heart hurt, and I had to tell the GCT crew about it.
Yeah.
I should have been there. Stupid renters.
I saw lots of people posting from out of state who had annual passes, who maybe were local like you to Disneyland. They used to live in California but had to relocate for whatever reason, and they were devastated. They were saying, we're following along, we're supporting you, but we're here sobbing, like watching your guys' stories. And I couldn't imagine.
There was a moment I'm watching because I'm watching you, I'm watching everybody else. I just think to myself, bitter party of one. My lonely table is ready by the bathroom.
I don't blame you because
So
I would have been there too.
I have a question for you, Holly. How
Yeah.
was Snow White's Enchanted Wish?
It's so beautiful. So I don't want to like give any spoilers, but it fits in Fantasyland perfectly. The painting of it, like the outside, the touches that they did. There's one part at the end where what?
No, it's teasing George. Sorry.
Oh, because he's put it on mute and is
Yeah, I'm
chit-chatting.
like, what? What?
He put it on mute to have a
What?
conversation. With
I
Jess.
was asking hubby a very ignorant question.
Got it.
She doesn't remember what the ride was because she'd been to Disneyland one time. And during this time, unfortunately, she didn't have the best experience that I wanted her to have because she ended up becoming sick.
I got really
Aw.
So all
Aw.
she wanted to do, we weren't even in the park for 20 minutes. And she's like, okay,
like
can we
2 hours.
can we
I
go
was like,
back?
I need a nap.
And
I'm hacking
Aw.
and coughing and sneezing.
So-
and my eyes are all swollen.
So
and feeling
75% of the Disneyland part of our trip, she can't even remember.
Aw.
I mean,
Josh
that's
too, because Josh ended up with a what was it, an ear infection?
Well, he was the little booger that gave it to everybody.
yeah. He had.
Well,
like
then he
a
can't
ear-
come next time. He's punished.
So go on,
So-
Holly, as you were saying.
Yeah,
so
I
it was. Oh, go.
Because I'm going to ask you all about this because I loved Snow White's Scary Adventures, partly because there was never a wait. So I was always on this ride.
Yeah.
And I watched your video and it seemed like they only really changed about 35% of the attraction.
Yeah, they did leave quite a bit of it. They just made some scenes happier, and they added the projections and some twinkling lights. And then one of the very last scenes is her magically happy and some, I don't even know what, like cherry blossom trees, and you can actually smell it, which is so awesome. I'm so glad that they did that. So you can actually smell the blooms.
Now let me ask you this, because I did a video with Orange Grove 55, and I asked him the same question, but he didn't get to experience yet. With it only being so many things that was changed, but they kept the original stuff, does it look out of place by keeping the older traditional
No, it's
stuff?
a storyline now. Like it, I mean, if you haven't seen Snow White, you might be a little bit lost, but it's more of a storyline. And there are some really great effects now in there. So it definitely doesn't take away from the dark ride experience. It still fits perfectly, but it's just really great now.
Two questions. One,
Uh-huh.
how have you not seen Snow White? Snow White is...
I don't know.
I got the Blu-ray a couple years ago, and it was the first time I'd seen it in a decade, and I was wowed by what a great movie it is. All right, sidebar over. Speaking of special effects, did you see in the queue loading area now where the house is, the Dwarf's Cottage, did you see Snow White dancing in the mirror? The window?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many, like, it's so hard too, because I feel like a lot of it, especially the first day, was a blur. Like it really was. So I was really glad I had the second day to go back through things and be more relaxed, because even though it was a great experience the first day, I had so much different emotions and nerves, and I was anxious and I couldn't sleep the night before. And so I was glad to have yesterday as well. But yeah, I was so sad. There was one cast member when we were going through Indiana Jones, and he asked me, he's like, have you been on the new Snow White ride yet? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I haven't got to experience it yet. He's like, I might have to break down and watch it on YouTube. I'm like, don't do it, just wait. And he's like, yeah, but we can't even make reservations yet to come in till July. I'm like, just wait, just do yourself a favor and just wait. Like, I don't know. I'm the person that doesn't like the spoilers, and I know that most people are the opposite. They want to see the spoilers to see what's new, and so they can really hone in on that. But I don't. I like to be completely shocked and surprised. Not in all aspects of my life, but like this kind of stuff. And the wait time. So you're right. You normally walk on less than 5 minutes. The wait time wasn't bad. So the lines are terrifying looking. It went all the way back to the fantasy fair and all the way through over there where all the princesses are. But it was
Ooh.
still about 20 to 25 minutes. It's just
Okay.
because of, social distancing. So even grand opening, it was, I think, 25 minutes that day. And that was the first thing we went on when we
Did it seem
finally
like it was
calmed
the
down.
full capacity of 25%?
No, it did not. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys have seen if it was less. We were told. So when we were waiting in line to go in, there was a cast member out there like putting people in line and such. And he said it was about 7:30 and they were opening at 9. And he said, "You guys are in luck. I think we're getting ready to open shortly. And it's supposed to be less than 25% capacity today." So I don't really know. I mean, only Disney knows that. Have you guys seen anything in the news about what it was?
I'm just stuck on my heart still hurts when you say less than 25%.
Yeah.
Like there's a physical pain in my heart.
Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I really experienced that. I have so many photos because I was in awe of how empty it was. And I posted several of them, but I think a lot of people are going to think, why is she just posting these pictures? Because nobody understands. I haven't seen it like that. I was telling Jay this before we started. I haven't seen it like that in probably 10 years on what they call a ghost town day. The streets that empty. And there would be certain times of the day where everybody would be gathered in Adventureland or over in Fantasyland, like in the morning with all the little kids, more people were in Fantasyland. But there was maybe some at certain times of day, 15 people in Toontown, like a handful of people in Tomorrowland. Yesterday I posted, there was no wait for Peter Pan. No wait. I posted photos of that. I took a video and I said, when have you ever? I've honestly never
Only
seen Peter
in your
Pan,
dreams?
Yeah. So we were walking up and I could tell that there wasn't a line because it didn't go all the way through the castle. And I said, how long is this wait? And the cast member said, 10 minutes. I said, 10 minutes? And I looked around at the sign. I said, I gotta get a shot of this. And she's like, I know. And then after that, we went on Snow White again, came right back out, and there was 4 people in line for Peter Pan. 4 people.
I want to put a flag in this and have us come back to this conversation in a future episode because we know the annual pass program is coming back in some form.
Yeah.
And I had a day just like that about 3 years ago on a Saturday in March.
Okay.
Because the APs were blocked out.
So that's what I said. So I don't know what time of day it was, but we went back up. Oh, that's what we were on the train. So we were on the train and this was yesterday, we had yet to see Mickey, Minnie, or Goofy. We hadn't seen them yet. And so we were planning on doing the Grand Circle tour. But when we got to the Main Street station, we looked over and saw them and we're like, we got to get off of here. I have a video and I posted it. There was I don't know if you guys watched it, like 10 people over there off of Main Street right there at the train station. We had those characters basically to ourselves. It was, I don't know. I just still cannot get over that.
Perform from me, mouse.
The one thing that I could say as far as with the capacity goes, I do have a theory because when Walt Disney World reopened back in July, they opened to, they were expecting bigger crowds, and that was pretty much a ghost town.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where it's a process that it has to kind of get the gears moving again, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think with Disneyland, it's going to take a little bit more longer of a process than Walt Disney World because right now they're only doing California locals.
Yeah.
So, and I think once the state opens up to everybody and, the resort, does its thing, I think, it'll get to the point where it's pressing the rewind button and everything that Walt Disney World went through this last year. Now Disneyland has to. They're 1 year
Yeah,
behind.
and I think it's really smart if they did 20 to 25% because they have to get in the swing of things. Like when we were ordering certain foods or checking out at the stores, the cast members were still learning. They were trying to figure out where the buttons were and how to ring something up. And so,
And I really think, sorry, not to interrupt you, Holly.
Yeah.
I really think with the shutdown and everything, people and Disney fans got to really know how different Walt Disney World and Disneyland really is. When
Oh,
they say
gosh,
it's the
yeah.
same thing. It's like not even just in the parks, like even the location with Walt Disney World being in Florida and Disneyland being in California, that it runs by their own rules.
It's
oh,
really
yeah.
night and day. And I know I've
Okay.
only been to California once, but
Oh, yeah,
there is a
definitely.
complete 1,000
Okay, so I'm going to go off of that vein right now because so I knew it was going to be hot. And sometimes when I'm outside, I take an umbrella just for shade, right? Well, I had the umbrella in my hand and I said no because I didn't have a stroller this time to throw all the crap in. So whatever I brought was going to be on my back for the whole day. So I opted not to bring the umbrella because I said, well, there's always places to find shade. In fact, I think we've done an episode on how to get out of the elements, right? So I thought I would be okay. Well, I didn't know, and this is what I want to tell passengers, that one of the California laws is you can't have people waiting inside of the queues. So all the queues were outside. So I don't know if you guys knew that, if I just missed that rule somewhere prior to going.
I actually heard of it, but I didn't know it was. I think I did hear it from Dre, another person I collabed with on the channel. But I don't. So how did they do that? They have the line outside, and then they let so many people into.
Yes. Okay. So the lines looked terrifying, right? So say for instance, Indiana Jones. It said it was the first time we went on it. It said it was 60 minutes, and I'm like, oh, okay, we'll just do it because we have to do it, right? And sadly, the Jungle Cruise is closed for the refurbishments right now.
Which I just have to say, Holly, you sent a picture and a text to go with it. And I can't repeat it on the show, but I laughed out loud when I saw it.
So they put the queue for Indiana Jones all through the Jungle Cruise queue upstairs. So the Jungle Cruise queue in Disneyland has an upstairs section too that is usually not utilized. They usually don't have to utilize that except on very busy days. Well, in this case, they did. So we weaved in and out and upstairs and downstairs. And so they had these really tall, tarps blocking so you couldn't see what was going on behind there at the Jungle Cruise. But there was one little portion that was ripped open. So I stuck my phone in there to take a picture and it was a disaster over there. There was no water. There was trees down everywhere. And so I sent it to Jay and I said, come on, Skipper Jay, get your act together. But I didn't quite say that. But yeah, so it was a mess over there. But
I think I responded with, that's what happens when I'm not around to crack the whip.
Yeah, exactly. So once you got to the portion where you're about to enter like the temple, they stop you. And it was kind of like when you're going down a slide, right? So the person at the top of the slide is watching to make sure that the person gets to the bottom of the slide. That's how it was inside the queue. So they had the cast member there watching to make sure that the party in front of us was about halfway through the Indiana Jones queue, and then they would let the next party. So it took us a while to understand what the heck, why are they making us wait out here in the scorching sun when there's nobody in the freezing nice air conditioning queues? But that's why. So once I hear messages being sent, they're not to us, right?
Sorry, I forgot to turn my silent.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're not like, you're I don't know. Anyways.
No, I was checking on George. He's I just want to make sure he's okay. He's just very sleepy. Yeah. Sorry to put this on Main Street for everyone. I just, just checking in to make sure he's okay because he's like, poor boy just woke up.
Yeah.
This is his resting grumpy face.
Got it.
So she looks like a 10-year-old about 4 p.m. on Christmas Day. George looks like a 10-year-old about 9:38 p.m. on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Funny.
You get me tickets to Disneyland though. I'll perk up really quick.
Right.
We
So
go
just
next month to Disney World.
Yeah, we do. So that's a perk.
cool. So passengers, just know that you have to wait outside in the queues. So I really suggest to bring a small umbrella for the shade, because as you know, a lot of the queues in Disneyland are not shaded because there's just no room for that.
And Holly, you and I know, and I don't think passengers really know, California gets insanely hot these days. Southern California is not a cool place by any means. Think Arizona with a beach.
Yeah. So it was really hot, like ridiculous with the masks, with the tears. I think my face was raw by the end of the day from all the salt from my tears and from sweating. But okay, so another thing with standing in the line, we were on Pirates and it broke down, and it was about 15 minutes that we were just sitting in the boat. Well, I said, I wonder what they're going to do with all the people in the queue on the inside, actually waiting in the lines to like the numbered lines to actually board the boat. Sure enough, they actually had to make everybody leave those boarding queues. I don't know what the exact name of those are, and to go back outside and wait because of the California law. So that was pretty crazy to see. That's how intense those laws are of not having people inside for longer than 15 minutes.
And you know, all politics aside, California has the lowest rate right now in the country. So yay, we get to go to Disneyland now.
Yeah, right.
It's just, for me, it's a big sigh of relief that when they finally open up those gates, the first thing that popped in my head is Disneyland could start making revenue again.
Yeah.
And that to me is one of the biggest rewards.
Well,
I think.
There was an article that came out yesterday or the day before, talking about how this closure is going to cost Disneyland $4 billion.
I saw that.
Oh, please, just release 2 movies. You'll be fine.
Right. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to go over with passengers so they know, mobile orders. Every restaurant and quick service, you have to do mobile orders. It is not an option to stand in line and place an order at the counter. The problem with this is it's 11 a.m. and you're like, oh, I want chicken tenders right now. Nope. Good luck with that. You have to pre-plan your meals, kind of like what we talked about with like Woody's Lunchbox in Hollywood Studios. So we had kind of heard this, but we really didn't take it serious. So you really have to go ahead and as soon as the park's open, go in there and try to plan your meals. So say it's 11 a.m. and you ordered a corn dog, right? And then you're like, I'm really not hungry. You can actually go in there and modify it and push it back and make a little bit of changes. But I have to say that was really disappointing, because when you want that specific food or treat at that time, you really don't want to schedule it for 2 or 3 hours out. It really is difficult.
What was funny that when we went to Disney World, we were able, correct me if I'm wrong, when we were in Adventureland, we were able to walk right up and get our Dole Whips. But in Galaxy's Edge, we were going up to get the blue and green milk, and we had to do the mobile order for that.
Yeah.
And if it was backed up, like how many orders, you had to wait.
Yeah.
You had to sit on a wall and wait. And I think just to get blue and green milk, I think we waited like a half hour at least.
Ew.
You can always cancel your order if you decide you don't want that. But yeah, so that was why there was times that we didn't eat a lot.
I'm sorry, George. It's Dole Whip.
What did I say?
You said Dole Whip. It's Dole Whip.
Oh.
Dole Whip.
Heck. So on the same aspect of food, the carts, the popcorn, ice cream, soda carts, all of those disappear around 5 p.m. So it was about 5:30. We wanted a Mickey bar. Nope, gone. They were gone. Couldn't find them. We were devastated.
Hold up.
Wow.
You wouldn't get a world famous, delicious, amazing, life-changing Monte Cristo sandwich, but you'll settle for a generic old Mickey bar.
You bet.
Wow.
You bet. But I couldn't even settle for it. So luckily,
We
I
have
was
to
able
have
to
an
order.
emergency tour guide meeting behind her back about this. I think it's like paragraph 27, subsection B or something. Whoa. Monte Cristo emergency. It's going to bring the show to a halt.
So I believe the reason for this was obviously the capacity levels, and then the cast members shifts. They scheduled them only from like 8 to 5 is what I'm understanding. So there was only a handful of carts left after that, like maybe one churro cart and a few popcorn carts until closing. And then on the same lines, the train. We didn't get to ride the train the first day because it was same time, about the time we were looking for a Mickey bar, a little after 5, we went to go on the train. The train closed at 2:30 on opening day. 2:30 was the last Grand Circle tour. Yesterday,
Don't ever say the last Grand Circle tour.
of the day.
Don't ever say those words again.
Of the day. And then yesterday, the last tour of the day was at 1:30. So that's something, and they said it was because the engineer was scheduled to start at 8 o'clock, and that was their shift for the day. So
we're about 7 minutes left, and we're going to get yelled at if I don't ask you 2 specific questions.
yes.
Tell us everything about the changes to the Haunted Mansion, what they added.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Tell us what you saw of Avengers Campus.
I didn't go to California, so I don't know.
Well, that answered that.
I chose not to do park hoppers.
Might as well just knock it down to 3 minutes now.
Yeah, I chose not to do park
that's
hoppers.
7 minutes to talk about the Haunted Mansion.
I don't want to give it all away. But here's the thing too. I noticed a lot of new things, and I don't know if it was new or if I was just noticing it or not remembering it. But we kept saying that, like, is that new? Is that new? So now here is where I should have watched the spoilers, so then I would know exactly what was new.
Let me ask it like this. On a scale of 1 Skipper J to 10 Skipper J, how happy is Skipper J going to be?
Oh, you'll be a 10, because any additions to that are just make it even better, right? So when you're walking on the carpet and you're about to board your doom buggy, they added some stuff that where it was very empty and plain before, just made it perfect, because it wasn't so empty and plain. Now there was even more fantastic stuff on the walls to look at right as you're boarding. And, off to the left, they really didn't have anything. It was just an open carpet area, right? Now they have these like, those like Chinese screens that you use to like separate rooms, like you put behind your couch or something to block. It was kind of like that, but obviously Haunted Mansion style, like wrought iron and that was a very poor description. The Chinese sign, like the Chinese.
We know what you mean, but
screens.
they're definitely they look like the wrought iron now, and they're
yes, like that was perfect, because instead of just seeing an empty area.
I think that in April, December are fair game because Disney showed those. So yeah, those aren't spoilers, I guess.
Right. So to me, I was like, this area needed that, because it really was empty there. Like it was kind of just a very area.
It was supposed to represent limbo, but it always just looked like an empty hallway.
Yeah, it did. So now it just carries along the design like I think it should have all this time. So it doesn't seem like it was never there. It seems like it should have always been there. So which is good. So it's not like, wait, what is this crap that they just put here? So I thought it was very nicely done. What was I going to say? Oh, we were talking about it earlier, which you were saying it's always there, that they have another entrance, right? We weren't recording yet, right?
No.
Okay. So I posted this video in our chat. So because of the guidelines, they can't have too many people. There's nowhere to put people when the lines start to get too long at Disneyland. So they have another entrance, and I'm not really sure what they use it for normally, but I've never seen this entrance before. And it's back there by the Fast Pass kiosk. And so we were standing in line and they asked us, are we okay with stairs? We said, sure. So they took us back behind the wall graves. And then they said, go to the end of this walkway. And if the door is closed, knock 3 times. And we're like, what the heck? What's going on? And the door opens and we're told to go down this walkway. There are 2 flights of stairs, and it was just another entrance. So you did skip the stretching room, which is fine because it was something different to see. We had already rode it once. It was really cool. It was Jay looks like a kid just dying to ask or say something.
Do you think in time, because Disney was always big with queues, like they just wanted to go all out to have an experience for the guests while waiting in line. Could this potentially be because now they have to find new ways to put people? Yeah. Could this be the start of sort of what they're doing with Rise of the Resistance, where every attraction from here on out, new attractions that will have less queuing as far as standing in line and more like for boarding groups?
Well, are you assuming that social distancing is not gonna go away in the parks?
Not like where they're keeping it to this extent, but where that they can still have a better guest flow rather than having people crammed.
I personally wouldn't mind just 2 feet between me and a stinky person. That's all I ask Disney.
No, I totally agree. I think 6 feet is a little overkill.
Yeah.
But it is so nice not having a child behind you.
I don't like being crammed with people. Yeah, I really don't.
I think it's so good. But yeah, 6 feet is a little bit too much. I like the idea of the boarding groups, but I hope that it wouldn't be like Rise, because Rise can be very difficult. So Universal Studios just opened The Secret Life of Pets, and they also have a virtual queue. You can wait in line. No, you can't wait in line. Sorry. You have to get in the virtual queue, but it's not like Rise where you like win the lottery to be able to ride this ride. You go on your phone, you choose your time slot, and you choose your party. That I think would be fantastic.
You guys want some gossip about Life of Pets?
Yeah.
I'm hearing it's another attraction that Universal made that is not friendly for bigger people.
I'm trying to think about that. I'll have to go back and
based on the ride vehicle.
Yeah, a lot of Universal attractions. They don't make them for bigger people to fit in comfortably, and even Secret Life of Pets has fallen to this ongoing Universal
sad.
curse.
That's
That's a story for a different show.
Yeah. But so I would like that. I know it's kind of like scheduling a fast pass, right? So that was really nice at Universal, especially for this brand new attraction, to be able to schedule that. So, time's up.
That's
Bye.
our timer.
Shut up, Holly. You're done. But for Rise, it makes me sad for those that are maybe elderly and can't really have the fastest fingers on the phone to try to get a reservation. So it's kind of sad, especially if you're not completely tech savvy and can't figure out how to go in there and get one, and they're gone literally in 2 seconds, right? So I like the boarding queue or the virtual queue ideas, absolutely, but they need to change it a little bit to make it more user friendly for others.
Technology thinning the herd.
Right?
Oh, Holly, thanks so much. This was fun.
It was fun.
Passengers, I hope you had a good time. I'm still drinking from my cup of bitter, bitter tears.
I don't blame you, Jay. I would be too.
George, Jess, hi.
Hi.
I know.
Thanks for getting up and coming.
Thanks for inviting us.
Oh.
See, I'm personally okay now that I've had my stormtrooper.
I'll be okay once I
Size
done.
I was gonna say you guys can go back to bed after this.
Right.
Holly, I'll see you tonight. We're doing our regular weekly episode. We're talking about going with kids in the parks,
Yes.
child
Which I
swap,
don't recommend.
all those fun things I'm about to find out as an uncle for the first time.
Right.
And then the three of us will be back this week because Holly, you have had 2 Magic Kingdom visits and 2 Disneyland visits recently. And George and I are going to come back and grill you.
Oh,
Disneyland
boy.
versus Magic Kingdom. The definitive, the one, the only. What's better where?
We already know my answer.
The true East Coast rap battles. Oh no, we're going to grill you. George and I are working behind the scenes.
My
You
God.
don't know what's coming. Your Monte Cristo punishment is on its way.
I might call in sick.
Nope. This episode's all about you. I may title the episode Holly. Like a musical, Holly
Oh my gosh.
with an exclamation point.
Instead of
You can't
Hamilton,
phone a
Holly. Oh boy.
But George?
I said, and you can't phone in a friend.
Nope. So just know,
I just
George,
might have bad connection.
George, you don't know that yet, but we're going to work on this together. And then would you schedule the detour this week for the 3 of us?
It's on.
It's on like
On a
Donkey Kong.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, nah, we'll skip it.
Passengers.
So, Holly, I just wanted to take like a quick 30 seconds because you were saying when you were in Disneyland that your face started getting really hot and chapped from the heat. It's Palm Cheese brand. It's a face mask. It's nylon and spandex. It's super lightweight and it's also UPF 50 protected.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Hold
they're
up.
super comfortable.
Are they giving us money?
No,
All right then.
but they are really comfortable.
Thanks, Jess.
What's the brand?
Palm Cheese, POMCHIES.
.com.
Yes,
Want to say it one more time?
palmcheese.com.
No, spell it again real quick. So they don't have to back up.
POMCHIES.com.
Passengers, I hope you had a good time. Ken, take it away. Aloha. I'm not still recording. You can talk.
Oh, but you are. Oh, but you are.
I don't know how much you're going to get out of me this morning because technically it's noon, but it feels like 7 o'clock in the morning to me.
Go back to bed, kids.
Well, I'm not actually I'm going to literally dunk my head in ice cold water because I need to wake up.
Dude, I seriously need to hit stop record. Say goodnight, George.
Good night, George.
If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to like our Facebook friends page, Grand Circle Tours Magical Ticket Holders. While you're on Facebook, like our group page, Grand Circle Tours. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tours Podcast, as well as on Instagram, GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour. If you would like to email us, drop us a line at gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merchandise can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your adventure, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Only one rule, make it good. All logos, sounds, songs, and music that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are the full ownership of the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be the ownership of the Grand Circle Tour podcast. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.
Please exit to your left by stepping away from the cars with your left foot first. Step out and stand on the moving platform, please.
Please exit by stepping away from the cars with your left foot first. Step out and stand on the moving platform, please.